So, to resume the discussion that I was having with Bob Gates about public service, let me ask you about your own story. You were born in South Korea, where your dad was a U.S. Army officer. You graduated from Princeton with a degree in geology and geophysics. Then you went into the Army as an intelligence officer. Through that, there's a line to your president job of a commitment to public service. Explain where that came from. Why were you motivated to work for this country?
Well, I think it does naturally fall from that start that you mentioned, which is that I come from a military family. And so I also lived overseas for a good chunk of my childhood. And so you have a really interesting perspective on the role of the United States in the world and the fact that the the people who serve the government are ultimately serving the nation and um, hopefully benefiting, the world as a whole. But it's always been um, a pretty natural fit from that perspective. Later on, did have an opportunity to work for about a decade in industry before I first came to DARPA. And I think one of the things that struck me is that while I loved the fascination and some of the interesting science challenges of working in industry, you feel much more empowered to make a difference in certainly in DARPA and in public service. I hope in general. And so for me, it's been a little bit addictive.